away, and I'm going to
Cool.
just make sure.
So, I guess, I'm a technology specialist with Dakotalink. Before them, I was working in like kind of corporate IT environment, a biology, psychology degree background. And then I found myself in IT degree. And so it's my job to figure out, I don't need a lot of details about what exactly your issue is, other than what is it that you can't do or what can't you do well. And it's my job to help you to be able to do that. So, get aides fired, all that kind of fun stuff. But, who wants to be reliant on an aide all the time and you can just do it yourself? You'd rather just do it yourself, especially middle of the night and all that. So, making people as independent as possible, I suppose, is kind of the key to it. I don't do the low vision stuff particularly. Our guy Ted, he does that. A whole plethora of different kinds of magnifying glasses, and they got little lights on them. The more intense they are, the smaller they become. These just go over your paper, and so this one's the most magnification, this least, and put this over your newspaper and then scroll on. And so worse your vision, smaller your vision.
You guys remember I was telling you about my young lady with vision impairment who had a bar magnifier, and you can see, if you're a young person, you have a fairly large magnifier. That's part of the issue, is getting them to use it.
Oh yeah, he's got all kinds. There's domes about that big, and the bottom's flat. Just sits on top of your newspaper, and it magnifies in there. We have reading glasses of all different strengths. He has what's called a CCTV, and you put whatever you want to read on it, and it's got a tray that just kind of slides around. It's a big device, so I didn't bring it in, but it'll magnify it on the screen. And some of them take a picture and then scan what's on the paper and then read it back to you. And they have all different kinds of color modes. So not only can you zoom in, but if you see certain colors better, you got red on black, yellow on black, green on yellow, or something like that. All different kinds of color settings is what he's got. He's got devices you can put on your head that look like virtual reality. It's got a little dedicated Samsung device. It looks like a cell phone, but it's dedicated to that. You can zoom in to the nth degree. You can take it outside. You can zoom in on somebody's license plate, take a picture, and it'll read it off to you. You can program faces, take pictures of people's faces, and program them. You look at any person, and it can tell you features about them, like approximate age. Sometimes it calls me 14, sometimes it calls me 40. But it's not the most accurate, but it usually gets the sex right. And that kind of stuff. My area is basically everything with science vision. I work a little bit with this, I guess, but we do all kinds of things from ergonomic assessments to learning disabilities. We go all the way on up to people with Lou Gehrig's disease, can't even move. We do all of that. But a lot of stuff for kids, if you got a hearing impairment, this is what's called a Pocket Talker Ultra. And I don't really give these out. This is just one of the things we have. It's an amplifier. And you just give it to the professor, have her put it on, and you wear your device. You have the headphones, now you can hear them. I typically give out, it's called a Roger pen. Now they make a Roger pen in mic, and And, it looks like a pen. It's actually a microphone. You can place it anywhere. And now they connect via Bluetooth to phonak hearing aids and a few other kind of amplified. And it is nice because it doesn't look like you're actually using anything. You just threw a pen in the middle of this table. But it's something they need.
And any of the Dakotalink things, you'll let a school or an individual try, right?
Oh, yeah. We got part of the grant. We get the federal grant, and there's requirements. We have to do a certain amount of things to be able to keep that grant. Part of that is like coming out and talking about our company, the things you have at your disposal when you need them. And the other part is we've loaned out equipment. So they have a whole loan bank out in Rapid City. That's where their headquarters is. And, I'll let you try it out for a while, see if you like it. I have all kinds of demo equipment. I just got a device called a Tekla E. And the Tekla E is this little box, and it connects to up to 8 different devices wirelessly. So it allows for complete voice control of like your phones, tablets, MP3 players, all kinds of stuff. So if you're paralyzed or what have you, you can communicate with everything. So I have one of those as demo, which I'm going to show to a couple of people this coming week, and see if that works for them. So as far as you get people with a learning disabilities, like pay attention, maybe they're too busy writing notes and they forget what they even heard. You have these LiveScribe Echo pens. They got a camera in the bottom, and that looks at all the dots on this page. There's hundreds of thousands of dots on this page, and where the dots you passed over, it's recording that. As long as it's on the pen, it knows what it is. So here it says focus. So that actually lost from Rapid, but there's all kinds of stuff, and you hit record, pause, stop. You can have it do calculations for you. You get a whole calculator, and it'll just show up on the display. So.
And who would that be for? What kind of individuals might have
And people that have problems paying attention.
Memory, trauma.
Yeah, maybe they have trouble writing, and they prefer that over, say, something called Dragon, which I'll explain. Some people like just having the recording to go back to, or maybe they have terrible memories, and they go back and I don't know. I had the problem when I was taking notes. I wish I would have had something like that. That you go back and look at your notes and you don't even know what does that mean. But when you have this, you'll know what.
Because it lines up when you go back to whatever you wrote.
Yep.
It will play what you were writing.
Yeah. So like that word I tapped on, focus there. It's just one word, and you got the boss completely explaining some of the good things about this pen. And you can put it in all different kinds of languages. So there's that.
And you have a lot of students that writing isn't their thing. It's hard for them. The physical act of writing is hard for them. And so if they can just make a note, like a word, to remind themselves, this is the scientific model, and you write down model, and then you have it recording while you're writing the data down, it's talking to the professor, the faculty member, teacher's talking about the scientific model. So now you don't have to capture all the words anymore.
Yeah, there is a limit. I think pushing somewhere over 50 hours. But you can take all the information off of your pen and you upload it to your computer. When you upload it to your computer, it has pages that look just like your notebooks. And you'll actually see your handwriting on the computer. It'll always be on the computer. You can play it there, right? As soon as you delete it off the pen, you can't tap it anymore. You have to go back to the program.
And how much time, we've had some conversations already about devices and then the services that go with it. How long would you need to train someone to use a device like that?
Maybe a little under an hour.
Yeah.
Depending on, there's technical aptitude, but usually it won't take any more than an hour. So we get a little bit of, and there's all different kinds of sizes of these books. They come in different, give them a number category. It's the same kind of pages, so all those little dot pages. And each book has a different orientation of dots, so that's how it keeps it specific. I try to stay away from these because I think it's pack of these is probably 30, 40 bucks. So I try to go with the cheaper routes. But some people like to use it, and that's what they do. The most cost-effective one is just a little digital recorder. And we get these for a lot of kids that got writing problems. A lot of people have problems writing, apparently. You just give them that, and you start your recording of your professor, and every time there's a little tick mark, create a flag every time you hit it. And so if the professor's saying something like, this is going to be on the test, you click the button. It makes a little flag. So when you upload this computer, it just connects to your computer right there. And when you upload that into the software package that's on it, you'll see a little flag at each time you hit that little T button. So those are pretty nice. It's only going to run you 60 bucks one time. It takes care of it. They try to keep it cheap for them.
If you're Medicaid eligible or respite eligible or some of those
And the DRS, Department of Rehabilitation Services, that's your friend. When you have Department of Vocational Rehabilitation, they're another one that it would work with quite a bit if somebody's looking for a job.
There's the vocational rehabilitation, DVR.
Yeah. And, so I work with quite a few counselors. And if you don't like either of those options, this isn't really going to help you with note taking, but it's called Dragon Professional, and they do make different versions. Like for those law school kids, they make a version for lawyers, they make a version for doctors, anybody that really doesn't want to write or has problems writing. And it's complete dictation service. You speak to it at your normal speed. If you start slowing down, speaking weird to it, you have to speak weird to it all the time, or it has problems. So it's really handy to have. You don't need to touch anything. you can either have a pause for a second or two, and it'll insert whatever kind of punctuation. I changed that setting. I think it's easier, like you do on your phone, when you're dictating your phone, text message to your phone, you always have to say period or comma or any of your punctuations. Just do it that way and keep them simple. So, and this thing learns from you, like I said. So its predictabilities get better and better with time. So, just like the word prediction on your cell phones and your texting, it's pretty handy to have.
And that goes on to, it can go onto a laptop, a desktop.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, if you're paralyzed, you have to use something like this. There's no way you're touching a computer. You can run your entire computer with this too. And you don't need a mouse. And it can get a little annoying going through internet browsers because you have to make a mouse grid, and it's got a whole big grid and they're numbered. And you say you want to go to something in block 2, then it gets smaller and it has another grid, and you just keep going until eventually it's on what you want to click. So that's pretty cool. Saves people a lot of time. As far as people that get problems, they got problems waking up. These models we don't really use anymore. We use something called the Sonic Bomb. And
That sounds like a Christmas gift.
yeah, they're pretty interesting. I've tried one before, and it makes your whole bed shake. So it's one of these, and you get this hockey puck looking thing, and you plug into it, and then you put that on your mattress or even on your pillow, wherever it's gonna hit you in your sleep, and that'll start going off. The alarm is really, really loud, so not for your average person. And a heavy sleeper, I could use it, but.
And so that's for someone who's potentially deaf? Or
Yeah, deaf, hard of hearing. So I got one in my office right now for a kid that has to wear hearing aids. Yeah, he struggles. He can't hear his alarms. Normal alarms don't work for him. But it would let him try out the Sonic Bomb. It worked perfect for him. Yeah.
And you'll have kids that can't get to school on time because they don't wake up. And this is one of those tools you could think about as an IEP team. You know, maybe we add that to his repertoire to help him get to school on time.
There's people that have reminder clocks too. They make those. They make reminder watches too. There's a reminder watch, that old version. That one you put on, you set your reminders for whatever it is you need to remember, and it'll vibrate on you and be really annoying. The reminder clock that holds a lot of different events for whatever you want. People that could use things like that, they're making way more advanced versions of the watches now. I don't happen to have one. They're up there. But I've given people with Down syndrome, just all different memory issues. It helps keep them on track. The new smartwatches for that are pretty cool. You can, I think Google makes one similar. That's free. I think that's Life 360, and you can shoot out, have it if the child's ready to go. Shoot out a text to the family members, and it'll text them telling you, hey, come pick me up. So that's pretty nice. And that one I can give out for free.
So that's something that goes on to a smartwatch then? It's like an app or something that downloads to a smartwatch?
Yeah.
And so that, it looks like everybody's.
They make
smartwatches.
specific ones. I forget the brand name, but it's for specifically for people that have ADD, ADHD, things of that nature. It was designed by a guy who did a whole bunch of research on the subject and had kids that had it. Yeah, he found that to be the best tool.
And so, thinking about applications to the school setting, knowing when it's time to, go to lunch. If we're trying to get them more independent to move from class to class, a reminder of go to room, or go to Mrs. So-and-so's room, or things like that. So that instead of, say, having an adult with them, they have something very natural looking on their wrist, and you teach them to use that to navigate their environment.
Yeah, a lot of people want it to be fairly inconspicuous. Nobody likes, a lot of people are embarrassed by having disabilities. I was trying to tell people a lot of the times, like some of the stuff, I tell them I wish I had it during college. And there's a lot of helpful stuff, like these voice recorders that have been great.
Yeah.
I had no problem taking notes or anything, but just to have a cheap voice recording and everything, that'd be nice. Plus, you paid a ton of money for school, and now you have it all. So that's nice. You get to keep their lectures forever. So, when you get free time, just listen to lectures. It's super fun.
But I think that's, you made a really good point, Mark, about, just the usefulness and the integration, and these are tools that anybody can use, but just knowing, for your student populations, what you might come across, what's out there doesn't necessarily have to set them apart. It can actually have kind of a coolness factor. If they're the only kid that's wearing a smartwatch every day, and it tells them where to go and what to do.
Yeah, we give out tons of iPads. We give out only Apple products. That's all the state will buy. They kind of bought into the Apple can't be hacked. I just did the other day.
Oh.
But the iPhone 5 took 30 minutes, 20 minutes with research. But these things, for like $150 or whatever, you get something that used to cost $5,000 to $10,000 and does a heck of a lot more. So it's really nice. They get to save a lot of money and they just don't do more. And people can use them. You guys probably have them. But this here is called Proloquo. Use this for people with autism. Some of the kids just have issues talking. Like I had a kid that I hope the government gets him in some capacity, but the kid just has a complete inability to grasp subtle social cues. His brain only works on logic. So like if you have 50 questions on a test, told you complete all 50. He gets to 49, he won't turn his test in because it's just that. But anyway, he's got problems socializing with people. So you give him something like that, you can form sentences. You can program your own into here, and you can change these out, change the pictures, and it'll talk to you, or it'll talk for you too. Just make whatever kind of statement. You can, if they got severe learning disability, you can program it for them. I've done that a lot. Take like loved ones pictures, put it in there, or like emergency situations where they're lost. Just hit that button, and so it's completely customizable. Proloquo to go is what that is. Number 2.
And is that something, do you have to have an ongoing license for that, or is it once you buy it, you own the software?
Once you buy it, it's yours.
It's yours. And then do they like push out updates? that you just have
Oh,
to
yeah.
run? Okay. So it's like any app, really.
I
on your
forget
phone.
which one of these is the one you pay for. I think Proloco to go you pay for,
Yes.
and then Avaz, I can't recall if that costs money. There's free stuff out there. Um,
Like light versions of
I like-
apps and things?
Yeah, I like this one better than the Proloco to go. This is Avaz, and it's just more user friendly. It's just a bunch of pictures and everything, but it's easier to customize. As you can go there, edit, and I can make new folders. This is usually add new. This is usually what I give people. Autism, like some people can't speak at all in that. This will help deaf people out too. Because the only way you can communicate with someone, you can't talk to them, they don't know sign language. And let's see, what else can we put on there? There's, let's see if I can find you a deaf, app for deaf people. Yeah, so there's another one. I showed up to a meeting with a deaf person, there was no interpreter. So I think of some fun ways to talk to them. And so all that is so I type here, shows up here, and we just kind of, and the keyboard will go back and forth. That doesn't cost much. If you have another solution is ASLT. And you can go on common phrases or do whatever you want. And say, are you ready to go to the movies? And there's a person there with doing some signs. If it's easier for you to communicate with someone that way, that's an option. I guess one for low vision is going to be, I have an internet connection, so I can't really show you, but Be My Eyes. And there's another one by Microsoft that you have it on your phone, and it's got complete maps of the area, and it's telling you where you need to walk and what's coming up in front of you. So if you're blind, my coworker, he's got a vision problem, so he uses that to get home. And he's not completely blind. So we got that on there as far as the
Is that the same tool? Like, I know I've seen now canes,
Microsoft.
the navigation white canes that individuals who are blind are using also have some of the navigational tools built into those canes now, GPS, that kind of
Yeah, I believe they got them.
Yeah.
I haven't seen one myself, but we're in the same building as South Dakota Blind and Visually Impaired Service for the
Services for
Blind
blind
and
and visually
Visually
impaired.
Impaired.
Yep. And they
So-
would have that expertise. You could also invite someone from Services to the Blind to come to an IEP meeting if you have a low vision student. They would
Yeah,
also
it's
support.
it's nice having them there, and they do summer camps with a bunch of kids. That it's a little annoying when some of them will tell you how they've been bullied. People will bully kids completely blind, that some kids pick up, but kids are jerks. And the only drawback about working in that building is you don't get to work till 5. They close down at 4:30, and they start shutting the lights off before 4:30, and it doesn't impact them. They don't care. I don't know how to get around with the whole blind thing, no one ever taught me, but they'll teach you there. So,
I guess it's always like.
and I suppose that's good. One of the things that I give out a lot is called algebra. And it's the only math problem. We've seen lots of different math applications, and this is the only one I like, and pretty much anyone at the company likes. Let's see, pull up algebra here. Lost my icon. But with that, open up a new page, and you can do all your homework for you. And this is a dangerous tool to have because you don't want to do your entire assignment on that, right? Because I wish I would have had it in NIH Calc too, but you're not going to learn anything if you have it do everything for you. So you can make all kinds of calculations on there and make something wacky. Then you can either do solve the step, and it'll go to the next one, or like I said, you can have it solve all of them for you. And say one of the steps is confusing you, or you don't know why it did what it did. It explains. Just click on the step and hit explain, and it explains exactly why it did what it did from step to step. So everybody has problems in math. You're always going to be honest, both of us. It sucks to have to find your professor. They're hard to get a hold to. Or hard to get a hold of. Everybody wants to get a hold. And
So how does that work? Do you have to like type in your own problems, or does it?
yeah, you type in your own.
Can you scan it?
I believe it's got a scanning option. We don't really use that. It's out there. And it's got these all the different formulas in there that anyone would ever really need. You make a new page for every problem you got, and and do matrices, square roots, geometry. But and then a wizard for, say you got some weird thing about parabolas, you go in there and you can find all kinds of different equations, and it'll make them for you. And you just input your variables there, and it'll just keep solving on down.
Right, and that's an app you can install on a computer?
Yeah, now it's an app. For the longest time, we would get it. It's a CD, and they don't do security codes, which is nice. And so the kid can put it on multiple different computers. But it's really handy. I wish I would have had it. I had to spend a lot less time on problems that I was stuck with. I don't have a math disability, so I usually tell kids that a lot because they said they feel bad about something they can't do. And it's like, well, you just need to learn in a different way, buddy. And so that's a really useful program to have for math. And we got a lot of kids with reading disabilities. There's something called Kurzweil 3000. That is about double the price of read and write by text help. And read and write takes a little bit to get them up here, but that'll help anybody that's got obviously the reading issues or is not any good at it.
So does it read any materials that you scan into it,
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
You
so
can
that's
go,
what, that's
you
what
can
the
go to
functionality is.
like a website and it's got a feature in there where, I can't, I just bring up, say, the textbook, and usually the textbook's in a PDF format, not Word, but, you can either hit play, and it'll start wherever your cursor is. And I'll just do it so you gotta hear. Like some boring conference. Oops. It keeps going on.
This training is a hands-on training. You will learn how to make accessible documents and go over core concepts that will provide you the building blocks to make accessible.
See, and the nice thing is, and they kind of did it by accident, is that if you can see, it's highlighting everything in yellow, and then the word being spoken is highlighted in blue. And I guess it's been shown that, and it's like we learn language by image association, right? And that's how Rosetta Stone works. They show you a picture of an apple, they say it in your language, and then they say it in their language, and then you slowly acquire language that way. And it's the same kind of concept. You're hearing the word being spoken, and you're seeing what that word looks like. So maybe it helps you. It helps people learn to read. But so that's nice. As far as the screenshot going, say this is a website, and it kind of goes a little bit gray, and you got a plus sign cursor, and you just put it wherever you want. You drag it around, whatever you want it to read, and it takes a little bit because it's got to scan what's in there, and then it's going to start reading it to you. Takes a while. This is another program that's for handy.
For how to use Microsoft Office the right way. It will show you training tips and tricks on
That's cool. And the other, I mean, this I think is a big thing. So say you want to take your notes this way, and even if you don't have it this way, but you can get all that in there, or you're reading your textbook. You can highlight. You got all different colored highlighters. Highlight what you think is important. And you don't want to have to go page after page after page and look for the highlighted stuff. So you just hit the collect highlights button, and it takes what you highlighted and creates like my old highlight. But it'll collect everything that is highlighted on a new document.
So that's, and while you're getting that, so that's something you could purchase. It could be on school computers, and your students would learn how to activate that application while they're in different reading documents.
Yeah. And I would, first I go and I meet with someone and assess what I think, and kind of ask them to what do you got a problem doing? And I kind of make my own little assessment. I take that assessment, I shoot it towards the counselor, and the counselor decides on whether or not they want to go with my suggestions. And usually that's kind of the way it is. But, then I go out when I get the stuff, and I sit down and I train. This is going to take some of these things, like the more features you're gonna take at least hour and a half, 2 hours,
Sure.
maybe. And it is at collecting highlights. Takes your highlighted stuff, makes it all in one document, gives you a bibliography citation. So, and that way you're not paging through all your books. Most of your books are digital format anymore. I think USD and got rid of their bookstore. Buy it online, whatever.
And there's some requirements at the federal level about accessibility and accessible print materials.
Anything written after a certain time, I couldn't tell you when that is required by the Americans with Disabilities Act to be in a digital form.
Yeah,
So you can get your books.
Yeah, we talked the other day about Bookshare and how, if you want to read,
We use that frequently.
Harry and Maude, you can get a Harry and Maude book, which is a little person's book. You can also get the Mueller report. You can get the 9/11 report. That kind of neat.
You can get everything. And you always got to tell the students a lot of times they're unaware that they don't have to pay full price for their textbooks. They go through the school's disability coordinator, and they'll help them out. So that's kind of nice. They get a break on the books, which are ridiculous. I buy the physical copies. The great thing is they made it in a digital format, so it can be downloaded an infinite number of times. They only have to produce it once, right? And they save on all the physical materials. Does it cost less than a traditional book? No, they're still going to charge you the same price. Now they get to make money hand over fist. It's great. And this thing will also talk and type. You can talk to it, and it'll write out what you type. We don't really use that. If someone's wants to be typing or needs trouble typing, they suck at it, we're going to refer them to Dragon. Because, in the early 2000s, Dragon sucked. But that thing is way better than your cell phone now. So we usually give people more RAM on their computer too. They've done it before where they've had really old textbooks. So they have to take the binding off the textbooks, and I think a 300 to 400 page book. Took the guys in Rapid City, two guys. This is before speed scanners. About 2 weeks to get it all scanned again, but they did it. People needed it, and but it's a good thing to have. It'll also help you type. I haven't really done that, but you got the predictive texting. Still, if you got it, it's still great. This is another option for somebody. I mean, you want to keep let them know. And then you get all these suggestions. Just predictive texting on any phone.
And then, what was the name of this one?
This one is Read and Write by Text Help.
And a lot of schools are familiar with Kurzweil. I don't know, they must have been a really great
Kurzweil is the big one in high school.
Somebody came around and told a lot of schools on Kurzweil.
Yeah.
So schools are more familiar with Kurzweil, but it's always important to know there's always new technology coming out. There's always new versions coming out. And to not just go, well, we use Kurzweil. Look around. This is a little less expensive tool. It can do the same function.
Yep, and what's great about this one, Text Help, is you use Word. You don't have Kurzweil. They have their own word processor. And I would rather just everybody stick with Word. And because everybody knows how to use it, it's, stick with that.
With our 5 minutes to go, is there anything left that you want to be sure?
Oh,
of?
10-2, yeah.
Yeah. Anything you want to be sure? I know you didn't talk about the echo.
The what?
Echo?
Yeah, this is a big one. This is huge right now. It's the Amazon's Echo line. And if you don't have this thing, you should probably get it. I have one. I don't use remote controls for my television. It's got 8 microphones on top of it. The microphones aren't the greatest. Your other Amazon Echoes, your traditional Alexa, like the Dot, the Plus, they're going to have the better microphone and a better speaker. But this thing can turn your TV on, off, change channels, all kinds of things. Swap inputs, control your. If you're into paying for cable and watching commercials, you can hook up your TiVo, and it's really big right now. So especially anybody quadriplegics, Lou Gehrig's disease, you can do a lot with this thing, and you can connect it up to that Tekla E. I'm mounting on somebody's wheelchair, and wherever they're at, it has an internet connection. They can talk to their Alexa, so that's kind of nice. The Tekla E allows for page turning too. This product line is what we go with. I am a Google guy, so I'd rather have that, but these came out a little before Google Nest Hub. The Google bought Nest, and they're making the whole Google Home product. So like the Nest Hub Max that just came out, that one's screen. You can get your Echoes for screens. You've probably seen them, and they're really cheap. Their line, the Echoes are actually cheaper than Google's products.
And classroom applications, have you heard anybody using those in the classroom so far?
Not yet. You could put it in classrooms and have the lectures recorded. If that's an issue, you hook up microphones to it, microphones to the professor, and you get a loudspeaker then. There's the other application is, say, nursing homes. The only way I found to do it, which I have a nursing home that's interested in getting it, it's site-wide. So they get this whole nursing system. By law, they have to have a nursing system that tracks everything. And then every patient gets a Amazon Echo unit in their room, and that's their nurse call switch.
Oh, sure.
So as long as they're capable of speech, they would have something. We're definitely looking into it for the person with Lou Gehrig's, because we don't know what's going to go first. The voice, is that going to go, or is movement? Typically, the voice goes first, and they can at least wiggle a finger. So I got a proximity switch for the time being. Then there's you have eye gaze software too that'll track your eye movement. There's an app you can get on your phone, monthly subscription. It's called Sesame. You can get a 7-day free trial of it, and you can all try it on your phone. I don't know whether if it's on Apple. I'm an Android guy, but it might be. And it pinpoints the tip of your nose and then dead center pupils, and you just wherever you move your head, it's moving a cursor on the phone. Stare at what you want to select for long enough, and you operate your whole phone with your face. So it's pretty nice.
Mark, I'm going to stop you just to see if anybody has any questions or anything before we wrap. Nope. All right. And I really appreciate it, Mark. I think what I learned so far is that there's so much out there. There's depth of it, and you're talking about layers and layers of like, this is something we used 5 years ago, we use this now, we use this now. I think that's kind of the thing you gotta take away from this, guys, is that what we see today is gonna look different 2 years from now.
Yeah, this blows, a lot of stuff they have blow my mind, and like I said, I work in corporate server environments with, $10,000 switches.